Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joshua Chastain, your host with the W.L.L show. This is We Love Lawrence. We're sitting down today with Century 21 realtor Sadler Hill, and your name escapes me as
Daniel Strand.
Okay, awesome. And Daniel, thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you all are very, very busy, obviously. To sit down and talk with us just for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes here. We can talk a little bit about the market within Lawrence. I'd like to touch on that a little bit. I'd also like to talk a little bit about how an outsider versus an insider, somebody who's already from town moving within town, compared to somebody who's moving out of town into town, might look at the market and maybe look at different companies and how they look at a company and how they pick a company. I'd also like to look at where people are moving within the county as well. And then I also want to touch on what it's like to be a mother of a teenager in Lawrence and just how difficult that can be and how we really need to improve the quality of life, I think, for our younger generation within our county. So I'm going to get started. Let's dive right in. Obviously, question number one, how is the market in Lawrence?
It's good. If you're a seller, it's a seller's market right now. We're really low on inventory. That trend started a little over a year ago. Foreclosures are at an all-time low. We used to have a lot of foreclosures here. People were putting the house on the market. Good news is for the sellers, values are increasing greatly.
A lot. It's a lot different from 2 years.
And bad news for the buyers, it's taking longer to find them a house because there's not the inventory, and they're going to pay more for it.
Obviously.
We kind of have this sweet spot in Lawrence under a certain dollar amount, and those houses are almost non-existent. So there's a lot of first-time home buyers that are struggling to find.
What is that dollar amount, if you don't mind me asking?
150 or less. So if you have a house that's $150,000 or less and a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, that is in a very high demand right now for the entire part of Lawrence County.
Well, I feel very fortunate because I happen to have one of those that's going to be done.
Do you want to sell it? I actually know.
Not yet. I'm not quite done fixing it quite yet.
But that's what people are looking for. They're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. You have to think half of Lawrence County, the average approval is under $150,000 because they make about $14 to $15 an hour. So that's what they're qualified for. And the sad news is, though, there's just not the inventory right now.
Sounds like we need to build a subdivision or two.
We need some development.
I think
we do need that. We have a lot of empty land here. I would like to have a developer come in here. I'm currently working with somebody at the moment, actually, that's redoing a subdivision. But we need more people. We need to take all this vacant land that we have. Not all of it, because we want to keep it small. We want to keep it, small town feel.
You want to keep the small town charm, but have a big city feel.
Yes. Because, you think about, we want to keep people here in the county. So people that work, 40, 45 hours a week, and they have kids, and they're working constantly, and they're building up their credit score, and they're doing everything that they can to get a loan. They simply can't find a house. And that is the most frustrating thing about being a real estate agent, is when you have a buyer that is doing everything that they can, but then you don't have anything to sell them. So that's frustrating.
It's funny that y'all said compared to 2 years ago, because I have now been in my house for almost 3 years, I want to say. It's been 3 years, I believe, since in November almost. And the house I bought had sat on the market for over 2 years.
Really?
So that just shows you the difference in the trend from 4 years ago to 2 years past that to even now.
Some of the stuff that Sarah and I have co-listed together this year, we'll tell our sellers, reasonably you can expect offers within less than 24 hours. We're getting, we can have a house and list it and have multiple offers in 6 hours. I mean, we have very few things that sit on the market now for an extended period of time.
Sounds like I bought my house at the exact right time then.
Probably did.
For the right price.
be $20,000-$30,000 more today
Oh, yeah.
than it was.
Well,
when we
that's
bought it.
kind of what I was planning on because.
And we needed that in Lawrence
Yes.
County. We needed to
do.
drive up our
We
values.
do. We do.
Well, see, I know that I moved here, I was in a pinch, I needed a house desperately bad, and I found a very convenient house. Yes, it needed some work, but I'm a man, I'm not afraid
And you're
to.
willing to do the work.
Exactly.
And that's the
I'm
thing.
not afraid to come in and do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I'm almost done with it now, about another year, and I will be completely done with the house. It'll be basically redone from top to bottom, front to back, new insulation, new roof, the whole 9 yards. So it makes me happy knowing that the next buyer's getting a very good house.
Right.
They're not going to get, I can't say that on
A
camera,
brand
but
new home.
exactly.
Right, right.
Um,
And that's what I tell, I have, like, people say that I have a niche market, and maybe I do. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. That's why I got into the real estate business. But when I'm showing a house, I tell them, think outside the box. Don't judge the house by what it looks like today.
Mm-hmm.
You're buying it. You can make it your own. You're
Sure.
not renting. You can paint it. You can put on a new roof. You don't have to have landlord's permission. You can do whatever you need to do for that house. The only thing is, it has to, of course, you want to have a home inspection. So you
course.
want to make sure that you're not buying a house that's going to rot, doesn't have structural issues. You want to have a termite letter, make sure it's not eaten up by termites.
Exactly.
And you want it to have appraised. Certain loans require certain requirements to have the bank even finance it. But once you get through all of that, it's yours. You can
That's right.
change it however you want. Knock down the wall, paint it pink, paint it orange, whatever you want to do.
Let
Make it your own.
Let your imagination run
Yes,
wild, basically.
Exactly. So don't look at the house for what it is today. Look at it for what it could be. Put your personal touches on that house.
So tell me the satisfaction that there must come from working with first home buyers, and they get that, and you get that call or message or whatever it may be that yes, they're approved, yes, they're going to get this house. How much satisfaction do you get out of that?
There's no limit to that. There's really not. It's overwhelming. It's one of those. I'm very a personal person. I don't know if I just said that right, but there's no words that I can say for that. I mean, it's incredible. It's an incredible feeling to watch them, to help them go through that journey, because I'm one of those people like, okay, you don't qualify for the loan today, but that's okay. Let me help you. Let's pay off this credit card. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's work on your credit. Let's get you approved. I've had people that it took them 2 years to buy a house. And they've stuck with me for 2 years. And they trusted me and my lenders to help them buy something. And then, that's a long time. People get frustrated. They don't want to deal with it. They walk away. But these, you have these people that work so hard into, when that day comes and you give them those keys, that's the American dream.
It is.
That's what they want. It's theirs. They've earned it. They've worked their tail off. They might have kids. They might work 45 hours a week. They might be divorced. They might be having all these issues going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. But they've worked so hard. And to hand them the keys for the first time, there's no words to that at all. And that's what makes me going. That keeps me going. That's why I got into this business.
Well, while we're talking about the great emotions, let's make a public
It is
service
very emotional.
announcement.
And I'm
We
very
ask
involved.
people to get pre-approved.
Oh, yeah.
And the number one reason that I like to have people pre-approved is because I cannot count how many times people have gotten heartbroken because they've been online, they've used an online mortgage calculator. Well, I can afford up to a $200,000 house. Well, when they finally get with the lender and they've already found their $200,000 house as their dream house, they can only spend $150,000.
Yep.
And once you've shown them that $200,000, nothing under that is going to
Yeah.
sit them. And it just completely destroys
See,
your
for
morale
me,
when
I'd-
you're looking for a house.
I did it the opposite way. I went well below my budget
And that's what I
to
was
make
about to
sure
say.
that I could pay for myself as well as
Yes.
pay for the renovations,
Yes.
as well as pay bills on top of it, as
Yes.
well as
Well, there's a
Yes.
cost that a lot of
There-
people don't talk about, and I call it curtain costs.
yes,
If you spend all of your money on your down payment and your closing costs, then you don't have those curtain costs to
right.
go in and add the drapes and do the
Do
things
what
that
you make it your own.
to make it your own. So you have to be very cautious. So it's really not a good idea. When the lender says you can buy up to $150,000, you need to think to yourself, no, maybe I should be more in the 120 range.
And that's a great point. You know, there are several realtors who will only show you a house if you're pre-approved. And I understand that. They don't want to waste their time. They don't want to waste the buyer's time. They don't want to have the buyer heartbroken, okay? Well, I have a rule. I'll show up to 3 houses without them getting pre-approved because I'm very anal about my credit score. So I don't want to look at a house and go through all of that. Let me get approved. Let me, you know, turn in all my tax returns, my bank statements, my paychecks, all that kind of stuff. And then I don't find the house I want and they just hit my credit. So I have that rule. I'll show up to 3 houses. But then I always tell my people, look, if the lender says that you're approved for 150, I'm showing you 120.
Yeah.
And the reason why is you have groceries. What if your car breaks?
That's right.
What if you lose your job? You don't want to be house poor. You know, you want to be able to go out and take your kids bowling or take your kids to the movies or go out to dinner once a week. You don't want all your money invested in a house.
That's right.
A house is a house, okay? It's the people that live in the house that makes the house the home. There's a big difference, a huge difference right there. So Daniel's absolutely right. If the lender tells you that you're approved for this amount, I always try to tell my clients, even my customers, look, no, we're not, I don't, congratulations, I mean, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to put your budget way up here because you have to think about the unexpected expenses.
That's right. Sounds like Century 21, if there are more realty agents like you at Century 21, it sounds like this is one of the better companies that I've heard about, because I know I've heard some horror stories with realtors that if they get pre-approved for a $150,000 house, that's the house they're going to show them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to badmouth any other real estate agents,
And I don't-
but
I'm not
I am
either.
going to say that we work very closely with every real estate company in Lawrence, and we love working with them.
We love Lawrence County and Greenville.
And there are some really, all the companies here are really good. We've been here a long time. We're really lucky. We've probably got one of the best staffs that we've ever had. Nobody in our office, and I'll say that I don't really believe anybody in any other office that's located in Lawrence County is greedy. I think a lot of them feel the same way we do, where they're looking out for the client. It's not about selling the house, it's about building a relationship.
People think that real estate agents are like used car salesmen, and that is far from the case. When I first went to real estate school 5 years ago, I was blown away by the statistics and what they thought about realtors. And I was kind of beside myself, like, do I really want to become a realtor or don't I? Because I don't want that judgment against me. Like, I became a realtor to help guide people home. I want to guide them home. And to me, I feel like you get personally involved. I cry myself to sleep sometimes if a deal doesn't work out, or if this potential buyer, you know, is pre-approved and we have a contract in place and then it falls apart because there was a death in the family or whatever the situation is. I mean, it's devastating. I take it on a personal level, and it's very stressful and it's very emotional, and it's a hard job. So for people that like look at HGTV and think, oh, they get to look at all these cute houses and they have like this huge budget. No, that's fake news. It's not like that at all. We work 24/7. We are there from beginning to end. We are involved with every emotion that client feels. We're feeling the same way.
And just to retouch on, make sure you buy below your means.
Yes.
The reason being, the reason I say that, the reason I can say that is when I went and looked at my house and got it inspected, the inspector came in, did the inspection, gave me the report. I wanted a copy of it because I wanted to look at it personally myself, so I could go through and then go back and look through the house again with the realtor,
Right.
and look at the things that he noted on and everything else.
Right.
And one of the things that he noted was the roof. He said, you'll probably get another 2-3 years out of the roof. The insurance company saw it different. They saw it, the roof needs to be replaced right now. So because I bought below my means and because I still had money in the bank, I was able to keep my house without it going back to the bank and in foreclosure and me getting kicked out, because I was able to go, oh, okay, I got the money, no problem, let's take care of this roof.
But a lot of people don't have that money.
That's why you buy below your means.
You know, we had this class today, and it touched on that. And see,
I knew what they were talking about.
yeah,
In a sales contract for a house, what's in the contract doesn't always line up with what the lender says. So any government subsidized loan, whether it's a VA, USDA, FHA loan, when they come out and do the appraisal, the appraiser's going to have to say whether it has 3 to 5 years left of life expectancy. In your contract, however, the only thing that's covered by the roof is it has to be free of leaks.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the roof is 100 years old. If there are no leaks in it, technically the seller does, if you ask the seller to put on a new roof, they do not have to do it, because that is not one of the 9 major functions in the
that's
contract.
stated in the contract, correct. And that's what I'm saying. It's so intense. Like, it goes back to what I just said. People think that it's like HGTV. You just unlock the door and, you know, everybody's happy-go-lucky, but that's not the case. As a realtor, for me anyways, I can't speak for other realtors, but for me, it's very difficult, because in the back of my mind, when I'm looking at a house, I'm thinking, what is the appraiser going to say? First off, what's my job? I know what my job is as a realtor, but what is the appraiser going to say? I have no control about that. What's the lender going to say? I have no control about that. What is the home insurance company going to say? I have no control about that. My job is to have the seller sell the house, have the buyer buy the house. I show the house. I can't warranty anything with the house. I'm not a home inspector. I'm not an insurance adjuster. I'm none of that kind of stuff. So when you get in those kind of situations, it's sticky, because you could close on a house today, and then tomorrow your insurance company comes out there and says, by the way, you need to put on a new roof because we're not going to insure your house.
That's pretty much what.
And then when that happens,
exactly what happened
who
to
do
me.
they come to? They come to your realtor. Why did you just sell me this house?
I didn't.
You know?
I called the roofing company and
But-
got him
but
to come out and put a new
most
roof on my house.
Most people, they do. They come to
And
the
I could
realtor,
understand how they could, yeah.
and they're like, you just sold me this house. I just paid $480 for my home inspection, and I just paid another $425 for my appraisal. Like, nobody caught this. You're the one who sold me the house. And for that, it's difficult, because then you have to, you know, tell them, well, I mean, I wasn't the insurance person.
Basically, you have to
So
tell
it's
them,
very
I'm
hard.
sorry, but there's
Yeah.
nothing really I can do about it. I mean,
Yeah.
And there's ways around. I mean, you can get a professional roofer out there to write a letter telling to the insurance
Yeah.
company saying that, yes, it does have 3 to 5 years left of life left, and you can get around it.
Mine didn't.
But there's some extra steps.
Mine did not.
But I'm glad that you had the money,
Well,
and you guys.
and I'm going to give a
bought
huge
the house.
shout out to my mom right now because of that reason. My mom teaches finance at Spartanburg Community College, and she
Awesome.
was an accountant in her previous job. So growing up, I've been instilled that, especially when you go buy a house, don't sink all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Exactly.
Sink about half to 3/4 and make sure you got another quarter of your eggs. That way, just in case something happens,
In case
you
something
move in the house and you have a pipe burst inside the house
Yep.
and you got to redo the flooring or something else happens. At least you have the money on standby just in case.
Yes,
Thankfully, I did. Now, you work 2 jobs,
I do.
and you're also a mother.
I am.
That's got to be really, really difficult.
It is really difficult. It's stressful. But real estate keeps me going. I mean, I love real estate. I love working with people. The satisfaction, the feeling that I have, you know, the day of closing when I hand them the keys, is just something that I can't describe. So all the hard work and everything that I do every day, it just, to me, that is my end result. That's what I live for.
So
My son doesn't like it.
I could imagine.
I'm never
so.
home.
I could imagine that.
You know, I'm never
I could
home.
imagine
I
that.
go to my other job at 8 o'clock, and I leave there at 3:30, and then I'm doing real estate. And, you know, sometimes I might be lucky and get home at 5, and other times I might not get home till 9.
Wow.
And then, you know, you have homework, and you have to cook dinner,
That's
and,
right. Mm-hmm.
you know, all that kind of stuff.
I completely understand where that goes. I'm not a father, but I understand being busy between my other job and this. It keeps me fairly busy.
Hard.
But this is what I get my satisfaction out of. But I will say this: do you, in your personal opinion, as Lawrence grows, and as we get more people moving here, do you think that the whole community as a whole is going to grow to the point to where there's going to be more to do for the younger generation of children, for the teenagers, and stuff like that? Do you foresee that in the future?
I hope so. I hope so. In all honesty here, I've lived in Clinton. I moved to Clinton from Baltimore 10 years ago. When I first moved here, I hated it. I moved to Joanna, no offense, and we had some goats in the backyard, and it was hard on me to have to drive an hour to Greenville or an hour to Columbia. I was so used to having everything right there, you know, 5 minutes away. And it took a lot on me and my family, but as the time went on, I really fell in love with that small town feeling that we have here, and I did not miss all that traffic, and I felt like everybody was so involved with the community, and everybody got along, like everybody's opening the doors for each other and saying, hey, how are you today, you know, stuff like that. And as the years went by, I saw a difference. I saw that Main Street Clinton has started revamping their buildings. They're getting new business owners in there. Downtown Lawrence as well has really started getting out there and doing their buildings. ZF was a big thing for Lawrence County when they came down there. We got a lot of stuff there. We might have lost Caterpillar in Fountain Inn, but we've gained some stuff, and so I'm hoping that we're going in the right direction.
I think we are. I see us going in definitely the right direction, and that's a good sign for us because it's overdue.
It's way overdue.
It should have happened years and years and years and years ago. In my personal opinion, it did not.
Well, here's a little 30 years ago, my dad said in 20 years, Lawrence will be part of Greenville.
I've heard that for a long
And
since I've been here.
I tell, you know, I kind of go back to his little saying, in 20 years, we may be part of Greenville. The good thing is, I mean, Greenville's such a big market, it's growing so fast. They're landlocked. They can't go east because of Spartanburg and Greer. They can't go west because of Piedmont and Easley and Anderson. And they can't go north to the mountains. The only place there's really vacant land where they can expand is us. They've taken over Simpsonville.
That's right.
They're on the verge of taking over Fountain Inn. Eventually,
they're going to work their way on down.
It's got to come here.
Exactly.
But we don't want to lose that small town charm. That's what, I mean, we get a lot of people that move down here from Greenville because they're trying to get away from the rat race, and they like this. And where we're located, and I've researched, I can't think of anywhere else and can't find anywhere else in the country that can boast what we can.
That's right.
Within 2.5 hours, you can be at the beach. Within an hour and a half, you can be snow skiing.
That's right.
In 2.5 to 3 hours, you can be in Atlanta. In 2 hours, you can be in Charlotte. And you're less than an hour from 3 of the biggest cities in the state between Spartanburg, Greenville, and Columbia. So if you left your house at 8 o'clock, by lunchtime, you can be doing anything your heart desires.
That's right.
There's nowhere else in this country that can say that.
And if you would ask me, I would say that I was a Clinton girl. And the reason why I like to say that and I'm involved with the city of Clinton is because I call it Smitten for Clinton because we are located in the prime location. We are we're off the interstate. We're right in the middle of Greenville or Columbia. And you have people moving here from Greenville and Columbia. And I love that. But what I would love to see more is for more things to do for our children, because I'm a Clinton girl, like I just said, right? So, and it's a college town.
Yes.
You have PC.
Mm-hmm.
And, they spent a lot of money on these new programs and bringing people in here to go to school. But what we're seeing is those people are buying houses. Number one, we don't have any rental inventory at all. So, they're buying homes, and then when they graduate, they resell them. But then they move away.
Mm-hmm.
We need a place where we need more jobs here.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We need them to stay. We need a place for kids. Like, I know that they did that Fun Factory in Lawrence, which is great. But it's still geared for small children. So, like, I have a 13-year-old little boy. What do you do with that?
If there's no sports going on, it's
to Greenville.
Yeah. If there's
you
not
have to drive to Columbia. So, Clinton had that sports center that was coming, that recreational center, which I thought was great. But I thought I read the other day that they put a hold on that and it's falling apart.
It has a hold on it, yes.
We need things for our youth to do. Think about it. When you're in elementary school, you have daycare after school.
That's right.
You go to middle school, you can't have daycare.
No.
So what happens to our children that are in middle school? That is a vital time for them.
Yes.
Their hormones are changing.
That's right.
They're changing. If they're not into sports, what are they doing after school?
There's nothing for them to do. They're going to go do what.
We need a bowling alley. Like we had one in Clinton. That didn't work out. We need a skating rink. We need something for our youth so that they can say, you know what, I want to stay here. I want to go to PC. My money's going to stay in Clinton.
That's right.
I'm not going to take, like my oldest son moved away to go to college because he's like, there's nothing here to do. I can't make no money. I don't want to spend thousands of dollars on the education to make $14 at ZF.
Yeah.
I mean, that was tough pill as a mom to swallow.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially working 2 jobs, that was very hard on me. So I think that we need to focus on getting some stuff here for our children, for them to stay here, for them to spend their money here, to stay local instead of moving away. I think that we need some more inventory because we do have people that are moving here from Greenville and Columbia because they don't want that traffic and the hustle bustle. We don't want all of them, of course, because we want to keep that small town feeling, you know. Because that's why people love Lawrence County.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I love Lawrence. Why do you love Lawrence?
I love Lawrence for many reasons. Number one, it is rooted in with such a rich historical background. Number two, because of the small town charm, but at the same time, like you said, I can travel, which me and my wife do quite often. We go to different concerts in Atlanta, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach, Charleston. We go see different bands, and Lawrence being conveniently located without the big traffic from the Greenville crowd, it's very nice. It's very convenient because I can get up. We can get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We can go to Charlotte, spend the day, be in Charlotte, eat lunch, and then go enjoy afternoon shopping, hanging out, and then go to the concert, then come right back home the same night. Because it's not but an hour and a half down the road.
Yeah.
So,
and what I love about Lawrence is it's like Mayberry.
it is.
It's like Mayberry.
It really is.
Everybody knows everybody. You know, it doesn't, I mean, half of the people are related, but, I mean, everybody knows everybody. Everybody went to school with everybody. Everybody is so friendly.
That's right.
And that's what's drawing people here is because they're seeing that.
Well, I think, too, what happens, and I'm a prime example, when I graduated high school here and went to college, I said I would never, ever come back to Lawrence. I mean, there was nothing here to do. I moved all over the Southeast with my job, finally ended up in Columbia, and I'm sitting there watching my friends and their children and their little cliques. You know, every kid had 2 or 3 friends, and then remembering back in high school when you went to a party, it was every demographic was represented.
That's right.
Everybody knew about it. Everybody was friends. If you went to the mall, there may be 20 or 30 of you going, not 2 or 3. And I started thinking, you know, this wouldn't be a bad place to raise a kid.
It's a
So
Great
when the time
place,
came
great
and the
family.
opportunity came, that's where I'm going.
Well, guys, we're going to end on that note. Always remember, and obviously it sounds like within another year, when I'm finished with my house, I know who I'm going to list it with, obviously, because put it this way, I'm sold. I'll put it that way.
Oh, that's great. And listen, guys, I just want to tell you that real estate goes beyond the sale of the house and is very personable to us. And if we can help you in any way, please let us know.
Please reach out.
Then give a phone call.
They are a good group of people, obviously. I've enjoyed today very much, and we will make sure to include them as a part of our process moving forward with our podcast now that
And we're downtown Lawrence.
it
now.
seems that they are a very good addition, and I guess you could say a necessity here within our community in a way. So this is the W.L.L. show. This is We Love Lawrence. Make sure you drop a like on this, share this, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you guys, and y'all catch us next time.